Can we go to the main call, sir?
Yes, Jairaj.
Can we go, sir?
Okay, yes.
Malika, we can start the recording, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to VST Tellers Practice Limited, Q2 FY23-24 post-result conference call hosted by BNK Securities. From VST Tellers Limited Management, we have with us today Mr. V.T. Ravindra, Managing Director, Mr. Anthony Sarukara, Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Nitin Agarwal, Chief Financial Officer. At this point, all participants' line will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the management's presentation and opening remarks. Also, may I remind you of the safe harbor. The company may be making some forward-looking statements that has to be understood in conjunction with the uncertainty and the risks that the company faces. Over to you, sir.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I am Nitin Agarwal, Chief Financial Officer of the company. I'll first take you through the brief presentation which we have made for the Q2 financials, and then we'll open for question and answers. So I hope my screen is visible and you can see the slides. Jairaj?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the vision and mission of the company we have mentioned. So I'll straight away go to the key financial highlights for the quarter. And I'm very happy to announce that we have grown in terms of revenue 19%. Where in this quarter, company has recorded a revenue of 278 crore, which is a growth of 19%. In terms of profit before tax, 49.66 crore is the profit before tax for the quarter, which was last year 33.74, which is again a very healthy growth of 47%. But what's more important for us is the operational EBITDA, which we track for monitor the performance of the company, which is 43.11 crore, which is roughly 15.4% of the revenue, and also the net profit increase. Moving on, in the next slide, we have captured about the sales volume, both for our smart farm mechanization business unit as well as tractors for Q2. So as you can see that power tiller in the current quarter, we have sold 10,729 units against in the same period last year, it was around 8,800 units, which is a healthy growth of around 22%. In tractor, we are seeing a degrowth. There are reasons around it, and maybe we can, during the question and answer session, maybe talk about it. Power Widder and Reaper both have seen the growth in the current quarter. Moving on to the profit and loss statement, in the current quarter, revenue from operation is rupees 278 crore. With respect to the similar period last year, it was 234 crore, which is a growth of 19%. And as I mentioned, EBITDA is 19.5%. But when we come to only the operational EBITDA, which is excluding the other income, which is primarily from the mark-to-market gain, if we exclude that and only capture about the operational EBITDA, it is 15.48%, which is quite healthy. Now the sales volume for H1 as a whole, which is basically putting together Q1 and Q2 both. So in power tiller, we have sold 19,800 units. With respect, the same period last year was 17,900, which is roughly 10% growth. Tractor, the similar thing which I mentioned to you before. We are seeing a growth in Power Widder and Reapers as well. Moving on to my next slide is the profit and loss statement for H1 as a whole. So for the half year, the revenue is 524 crore compared to 470 crore of last year, which is a 12% increase. In terms of EBITDA, around 19% for the current half year, and operational EBITDA is 14.26%. Yeah, so this is a brief presentation about the performance. Now I would I open the floor for questions.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. We will now begin the question and answer session. Ladies and gentlemen, at present we are all in the listen-only mode. For participants who wish to ask a question, I will request you to please raise your virtual hand. As the moderator, I shall be able to see your raised virtual hand and will invite your questions in turn. Alternatively, participants can also type in their questions in the chat box. Please address your questions to all panelists. We will now wait for a moment as the question queue assembles. Yeah. The first question is from Mr. Raj Rishi. Please unmute your line and ask the question. Raj Rishi?
Hello.
Yeah, we could hear you. You can ask.
Yeah, your 2025 vision, which you have stated to be 3,000 crore rupees, would entail significant growth from present levels. Could you just elaborate as to how you want to go about it?
Yeah, we had said in the earlier calls that the Vision 2025, as we called it, will be achieved in FY26, considering the delay we had during COVID and the supply disruptions.
Okay. So 26 means, I would assume, FY26, 27, right?
FY26.
FY26, 25, 26, you're saying.
Correct.
So you're reasonably confident of reaching this aspiration of 3,000 crores by then?
The projects are all in place and you are seeing the growth happening. In Q2, we had a slow start in Q1, but Q2 we are geared up to almost 20% growth. We expect Q3 and Q4 also to be good.
Achha. And how much of this aspirational 3,000 crores would be, what's the vision as far as exports are concerned? What figure would it be?
Like we have said, exports will be in the tune of 10 to 15% of that revenue.
Okay. What I understand is like even your competitors, Mahindra Escorts, Sonalika, I would assume TAF also, they are also getting very aggressive. So is the market so big because those are very efficient and competent competitors, right? So is the market so big in India that it will absorb all this, like including your aspirational target?
See, I think the companies that you mentioned are major tractor players. So we are a major small farm machinery player, which is the power tiller segment, the reaper segment, the power weeder segment, and the compact tractor segment.
Okay.
So there is a significant difference between those companies and us, and we see that the compact tractor segment, earlier also in the calls I have said, very clear target of growing the business globally in the compact tractor segment,
okay,
and growing very aggressively in the small farm mechanization segment, and both of them we are able to do.
Okay. Okay. And any comments on the land which you have for monetization? I think it's Whitefield, right?
Yeah, right now the status quo is maintained. There is no new news on that.
Achha. Can you share some, because it must be, can you share as to what kind of value would it be? Is it 21 acres or something in Whitefield?
Yeah, around that, but there is actually no new news on that. So we will let you know as things develop.
Achha. But as of now, what's the market rate for that kind of property, like per acre?
I don't know the exact figure, so it won't be right on my part to say anything.
Okay. 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 Thanks a lot.
Next, I will raise some questions from the chat box. How is our tie-up with Zeta shaping up? When are we planning to launch products under this arrangement?
Yeah, the first tractors will be built in this month, November 2023.
Okay. The next question is, I am reading from the chat box. why there has been a degrowth for tractor volumes in 2Q20 FY24? Can you please throw some light on the same?
VST, as you know, is focused on the compact tractor market. The compact tractor market, specifically in Maharashtra, has degrown. Markets like Sholapur, Nagar, and certain parts of Nasik has received lower rainfall. And also, the certain orchard crops like pomegranate has got affected. Hence, you have seen a degrown in Maharashtra, which has also affected us. This is the primary reason and that you can see for the degrowth.
Okay, sir. Next question is from Shreyas Jain. You can please unmute and ask your question. Shreyas Jain, I think, yeah, we could hear you.
Yeah, good afternoon and congratulations on a good set of numbers. I have a few questions regarding Monarch and Zetor. So, regarding Monarch, what are the numbers we did in Q2 and what is the guidance going forward? Like, what's the volume, revenue, and guidance for Monarch?
Yeah, Monarch, as you would know, that we are supplying the drivetrain to Monarch company. So the projections they had told us for this year is close to 1,000 units, which is on track as of H1, and we expect it to be on track in H2 as well.
And what's the expected revenue from this?
Roughly about 50 crores.
Okay, 50 crores, got it. And okay, thank you. And any guidance going forward for Monarch, or is that like we'll come back with it later?
I think it will be better that we speak towards next quarter because that will be a new calendar year by when we would have the projections from Monarch.
All right, makes sense, yeah. Okay, now I have a question regarding Zetor. So you are saying first tractor will be built in November 23, but so the product launch that we did in September end or October beginning, so we have not sold a single unit yet? And
no, we have not built a single unit. We will be sending those tractors to the market in November.
Okay, and the guidance remains the same of around 1,200 tractors in 12 months?
Yes.
First 12 months. Okay.
Yes.
And what's the average cost, like realization per tractor in that pricing?
Roughly about 7 lakhs.
Okay, sir. Okay. And so in small farm mechanization, the products included are power tillers, weeders, and reapers, right?
Yes.
And the numbers given there. Okay. Thank you so much. And the tractor guidance growth, which you gave of 15%, that includes Zetor as well as Monarch, or does that only include Zetor?
It includes all tractors, full tractors.
Everything. So Monarch and all the new electric stuff also.
Correct.
Okay. And any exports market, what's happening in the exports market? Like, why are exports not good? Like the Europe, I think there's recession. Others are saying.
We are doing very well in exports. In fact, our exports have grown by almost 50% in H1.
Okay. And I have one other question. In FY23, our other revenue of 203 crores, like, can you give a breakup of that? Like, what are the segments which are, bigger than 20 to 30 crores in revenue? So breakup of that other revenue.
FY23?
Yeah.
I think you'll have to come back. We will just get it. I don't have that figure readily with me of FY23.
Surely, I'll get back in the queue. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next question is from Arjun Tanna. Arjun, your line is unmuted. Arjun? Not there. So I'll go for some questions from the question box. What is the outlook for outlook in 2H FY24 for the tillers and tractors for the industry and for the company?
Tillers, like I am maintaining the guidance which I have said, 15 to 20% we will do in tillers. For tractors, we had said around 10%, 10 to 15% earlier was the guidance that I had given, but it looks like it will be flattish for this financial year. But the industry is also trending towards the same. It looks like it will be low negative or slightly flattish is what the commentary has been for the industry.
Arjun, are you online? So then I'll read some more questions from there. How is the response for the VST 9 series tractors, and how is the demand shaping up?
Very good response. We are hoping the second half will be much better because the first half, as I said, the rainfall created the problems in those specific markets where compact tractors are used. We expect the H2 to be better. The response on the tractors has been very good.
If anybody has any questions, please raise your hand. In the meantime, I'll go through the questions in the chat box. Any price hikes affected in the 2Q for tractors and tillers? Given the stability in RM prices, are we looking to take any more price hikes and maintain our margins at the current level?
So we definitely have healthy margins at this point in time, but as I have said before, we are investing into growth and that will continue on various fronts. And the second point to be noted is we have not fully recovered the commodity price impact that we had, which we couldn't pass on completely to the market. So we will be open to a price increase, but we don't have a definite decision at this point in time.
Next question is from Mr. Bijit. I have unmuted your line.
Hi, am I audible?
Yeah, very much.
Yes.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity. My first question was if you could just give us some split of 2Q revenue by tillers, tractors, and spares would be great.
Yeah, just a second. That presentation has the details, however, we'll just read it out. For Q2, the revenue for small farm machines is 172 crores, tractors is 72 crores, distribution is 27 crores, and the rest is roughly about 9 crores.
Okay, understood. And these new, high HP tractors that we're making with Zetol, in terms of the margins, are they similar to the compact ones, or how different will they be?
Yeah, it will be slightly lower compared to the compact tractors because these are new products that will go into the market at a certain cost, amortized in terms of development. So in that sense, the margins will be slightly lower, but eventually it will be equivalent.
Okay, and you've guided towards flattish growth in tractors in FY24. This is despite of the new launches and the 1,000 units being sold to Monarch. So is it fair to assume that otherwise, we could see about a 20% decline due to the erratic monsoon this year? And, the reason why I ask is I was wondering what the potential of rebound growth could be, or, some pent-up demand that would come in next year.
The flattish growth is purely the tractors, domestic plus international. That doesn't include Monarch. So if you include Monarch, it will be around close to that 10% mark.
Sure. So we did about 6,800 tractors last year. We can do about 7,800 including Mona. Would that be right?
Around.
Okay. Understood. And just one last clarification is in terms of capex. You had, I think, earlier guided to about 50 crores for this year and next year each. Does that stand, or are we looking at any further expansions? And I think you had also pointed out towards some inorganic opportunities that you were looking at. So if you could just share some updates on that.
Yes, the capex is continuing. However, the global tech center development will go into next year as well because it's a larger, longish project. We are very aggressive on the inorganic opportunity as well.
Okay, so can we expect something coming up in sometime soon, or do these things take time?
We are evaluating opportunities at the moment, and once anything is concretely done, we will come back to you.
Okay, thanks so much for the clarifications. Thank you. All the best.
Next, it's Arjun Khanna. I have unmuted your line. You can ask questions, Arjun. There is some problem. Okay, probably will come back to him later. Next, I will move to Mr. Neil Joshi. Neil Joshi can ask that question.
Yeah. So on the last call, we had already mentioned that we have started supplying to the electric tractor manufacturers outside India. Can you throw some light on how has the customer response been towards the same? Do you see electrification picking up pace in the tractor category in the near term, or what's your view on that? Hello. Hello.
Hello? I don't know the management line. Management, can you hear us, sir? Probably. I'll check with the management. Just be on. I'm just saying hello. You could hear us?
Yeah, Jairaj, we can hear you.
Okay. I'll ask the participant to ask the question again.
Can you hear, Jairaj?
Yes, sir. Now we could hear, sir.
Okay.
Neil, I think you may have to ask the question again.
Yeah, Neil, like I said, the question was on the review of the electric tractors. I think the review has been good. The feedback that we have been getting is good. The segment that they are selling is the autonomous tractor, the driver optional tractor as they call it. And the response has been good. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, sir. We could hear you, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so let's move to the next question.
Jairaj, there seems to be some audio problem. I think the attendees are not able to hear us.
Hi, sir. Would like to announce that we'll take the next question from the participant, Vidit. Vidit, please unmute your line and ask your question.
Sorry, I think I may have raised my hand. I don't have.
Okay, the next question is from the line of Raj Rishi. If you could please unmute your line.
I think now I'll ask the question from the chat box. Sir. You could hear me now, sir?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay. I'll ask some questions from the chat box. Sir.
Rajnishi here.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. I would like to know what's the cost advantage of manufacturing in India. One, my understanding is the steel cost is significantly lower, and second would be the labor cost. So net, what's the cost advantage? If you can give some figures, is it 20%, 30%? What is it?
Compared
to whatever you consider your competition to be, East Europe or whatever it is. I am not aware of what would be the competition.
No, we have competition mainly in India.
Okay.
Right. So in that sense, we are all at par in terms of competing. But when we are supplying electric tractors and the OEMs whom we are supplying to definitely tell us that there is an advantage of roughly about 20 to 30% when they source from India. And depends on which market they are sourcing for, especially for the US and Europe. I think these are the kind of figures.
Okay. And internationally, you don't think anybody can give this kind of a costing as Indian manufacturer can?
I don't think it's just the cost advantage. It is also the product itself that, for the requirement for an autonomous or a driver optional tractor and the feature requirement is something that we can give it to them at a very competitive price. So I think that becomes the advantage.
Okay. And you mentioned about the inorganic opportunities which you were looking at. Would it be in your present line of business or would it be something else?
Present line of business.
You're not looking at any adjacencies or something else? Precision engineering you talked about earlier.
We have been looking at it, but we have not found the right one yet.
Okay. And construction equipment and all, that's not something you'll get into?
No, we are not.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
I will read some questions from the chat box. Sir. Earlier, our margin guidance, EBITDA margin guidance was 11 to 13%. Sir. Do you want to revise it upwards for FY24?
So we will hold it at 11 to 13%. Like I said, we are going to spend, or we are in the process of spending for growth, and definitely we will be meeting the guidance figures for sure.
Okay. And the next question is, can you share approximate realization for a tiller and a tractor?
So we won't be able to give out realization figures for either of the product. That is confidential information.
Okay. Can you share some colors or agreement with Solectrac in USA for the development of electric power tillers?
Yeah, so they have asked us to develop electric power tillers with a certain specification, which we are working on to deliver to them. We can't get into the details of the specification because we are prevented by the non-disclosure agreement that we have signed with them.
Next in the question queue is Mr. Siddharth. I have unmuted your line. You can ask the question. Mr. Siddharth?
Yeah. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah. Sir, I might have missed out this clarification in the earlier call. So now that we are kind of thinking of higher growth, so how about the distribution network that we are planning? Our existing set of network are enough, or what is the game plan over there? If you can just elaborate on that.
Yeah, so we have continuously grown our network, which will continue to grow further. Currently, our tiller network is roughly around 650. Tractor is around 300, 350. We have taken a pause on tractors. We wanted to wait for the Zetor launch, etc. to happen. So we will be growing that further, continuously growing it.
And particularly the northern markets, sir, where...
Yes, we will be growing. In the next 2 to 3 years, you will find us completely covering the northern markets.
And any numbers of distribution network that you have kept in mind for achieving?
See, if you benchmark the industry, everybody has around 800 to 900 dealers or 1000 dealers. We are at around, like I said, 300 dealers. So we are looking at around the same number of dealers that we need to have to cover the entire market, including the north.
Okay. So the idea is to cover almost all at least the district level market.
Absolutely. With the full range coming in, we will be covering all the markets.
Okay. And sir, one more clarification. The same distribution network will be used for our small farm equipments and
No, it's a completely different network. That network is already at 650 plus. That will continue to grow beyond 1000.
Okay. And this 350 will go to 700, 800, you are saying?
Correct.
Okay. Got your point. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I will read some more questions from the chat box. Sir. What is the production capacity currently for tillers and tractors?
Installed capacity of tillers is about 72,000 and tractors it is at about 25,000. 25 to 30,000, yeah.
And the next question is from Shreyas. I have unmuted your line. You can ask.
Hello. So, in the Q1 call, you mentioned that we have 680 dealers in tiller and 370 dealers in tractor. So, like, have we lost some dealers? Or?
No, we have not lost. I am not keeping an exact figure to tell you. That's why I said around 300 and around 650, right?
Okay.
We have not lost dealers.
Okay. And so, do you have the number?
Definitely on tractors.
Okay, so that will resume post Zetor launch in next year.
Correct.
Okay. And do you have the FY23 revenue breakup available now, sir, for the power wheelers and everything? Like
no, we will come back to you on that. Yeah.
Okay, no worries. Okay, all right, got it. And what is that power breeder volume? Okay, no. Power breeder guidance of 6,000 still stands for the year?
Definitely.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, sir.
Next question. Can you explain what is the basis of rupees 3,000 crore sales in the next 3-4 years? We have to triple the revenue from the current level of 1,000 crores.
Yeah, so we had set clear strategic directions for that. One is grow the small farm mechanization business, establish leadership in the compact tractor segment, increase utilization for higher HP tractors, including the VST Zetor, as well as supplies to various OEMs, including electric OEMs, build the distribution business, look at precision implement division, and also look at evolving technologies to invest into. So these are the 6 strategic directions, and on all these 6 strategic directions, actions have been taken. As you can see, some of them have started yielding revenues. Some of them are being built up. The electric pump business, we have moved from 2 states last year to about 6 to 7 states this year. And we will continue to grow that business. Like I've said before, in the next 3 to 4 years, we will be a 100 crore business in electric pumps alone. So all of the triggers that we are working on to get to 3,000 crores is definitely in the works. The second aspect, which I have stated before, for me, the 3,000 crores was to get the company to move on to a very aggressive growth strategy. Last 3 years, we have clocked a CAGR of over 20% or close to 20%. So we expect to accelerate on that in the next 2 to 3 years, which should take us in the vicinity of 3,000 crores is what we believe in. And we expect that to happen.
Okay, I'll see how was the Agri-Technica exhibition in Germany? How was the response?
Agri-Technica in Germany is happening from November 12th to the 18th in Hanover, Germany. We will be in Hall 7, booth B38. All of you are welcome to visit us. We are displaying technology. The first VST electric tractor will be displayed there. The first Stage 5 30 HP tractor for Europe will be displayed there. The first cabin tractor for Europe will be displayed there. We will also be displaying the loader version for 29 HP in this exhibition, along with our Stage 5 24 HP engine as well. So this is from November 12th to 18th. Several new technologies we are displaying there.
Next also I'm reading from the chat box. Can you comment on management bandwidth given the many businesses that we are looking to expand? Have we expanded our team? Can you talk about the additions?
Yeah, we have definitely looked at required bandwidth and we will continue to add. We have people joining us from various companies in very senior roles. We will continue to strengthen our technology capacity, both in terms of developing new technology like electric and also building onto our strength, which is the compact tractor as well as the small farm machines.
Next question is from Mrs. Ashish. I have unmuted her line. You can please ask your question. Mr. Ashish?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Just wanted to understand, you gave certain directions as to this target that we have of achieving something around 3,000 crores somewhere in this. So what is the contribution from tractors that one should assume that you are working with there in terms of revenue contribution?
30 to 40% from tractors, roughly about 40% from small farm machines, and all the other businesses put together around 20%.
Okay, so that is 1,200 odd crores that you're expecting from tractors versus I think current revenue would be
around 300 crores.
Okay, so quite a quantum leap that we are expecting here.
Yeah, we are doing launches for higher horsepower. For we are launching higher horsepower, getting into the northern market.
Got you, sir.
We were totally absent in. We were operating only in 90,000 tractors industry. So now with higher horsepower, slowly we are entering into the larger segment of the industry.
Yes, sir. So, I mean, what gives you the confidence that, the sales would pick up to that extent? I understand your preps would be there and your network and dealers would be ready for the launches. But versus, what is the kind of USP that you would have to kind of ensure that sales happen with these new launches that we installed?
Yeah, so if you look at the numbers that is required to get to 1,200 crores, it's not comparable to the large players which is already in the market. So in that sense, I don't see that achieving those numbers are extremely difficult. I don't see that it is extremely difficult. Point number one. Point number two, the strategy is not betting on just one factor to grow. Because if it was just one factor to grow, then we wouldn't be looking at 6, 7 strategic directions, which is being empowered by separate profit center heads. Like somebody asked just the previous question in terms of increasing bandwidth, bringing people from the industry at leadership level, creating profit centers and driving growth. So these are the things that we are doing. So we are not, while the focus is definitely there from a profit center perspective on each profit center, but the bet is not just on one, aspect of the strategy. It's 6 arms that we are working on.
Okay. And sir, the profitability would be higher if as we move to tractors being a larger proportion of your top line, or would you say that the margins would be similar to current margins?
Yeah, definitely. As the volume grows, the margin will keep increasing. Definitely, yes. As you can see, our margins are maintained because our inherent strength of frugality is maintained as well. So VST has a tremendous strength of frugality because it has always worked in small farm machines, power tillers, which has always been in the service of small and marginal farmers. So you cannot build in a cost which is not affordable for the small and marginal farmer, which is in the DNA of this company, which will definitely help us when we get into the larger segment as well.
Got it. Sure. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, next I'll read a question from the chat box. We had mentioned in last call on shift in consumer behavior or pattern towards non-dependence on subsidy. Do you see this persisting on a longer term? Your thoughts on that?
Definitely, I believe that it will continue in the longer term. One significant reason for that is labor is not available, or the labor available is very expensive. So the customer cannot wait for subsidy to come to buy. It is today's need, and hence he will go ahead and buy. And DBT actually facilitates this purchase process because the confidence is there. If at all the subsidy comes, it will come into my account. My account in the sense the customer's account. So that creates the confidence in him to go ahead with the purchase. So I believe it will sustain in the longer term.
Okay, sir. Then next question, how ready are we for BS5 tractor launch? Do we expect deadline to get pushed in India? And BS5?
Yes, we will be very much ready for BS5. As far as the deadline push is concerned, I am not privy to, information on that, so I can't comment on that.
Then one more question on the new board appointment. Reason and expectations from Mr. Roy's board appointment.
Yeah, Mr. Roy is first generation and entrepreneur and founder and chairman of Suprajit Group of Companies, a listed top 500 company in India, having presence in multiple geographies. He is a global leader in mechanical control cable systems and halogen bulbs, and very much experienced in the automotive industry. He has an engineering background with industrial engineering degree from Dalhousie University, Canada. And with all his experience as an entrepreneur, as an industrialist, and as an expert from the industry, we believe that we are going to gain much from his joining our board.
Okay. And somebody has asked, in that exhibition is our Hall 7, booth 38.
Yeah, Hall 7, booth 38.
Somebody. What question? Yeah. See, when we reach 3,000 crore revenue also, our EBITDA margin can be maintained.
I don't think otherwise it doesn't make too much sense to get to 3,000. We would definitely be focused on margins. I don't think we will go dry on margins to get or buy growth. That will not happen with VST.
those are all the questions in the chat box. There are no more questions, sir. I think. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
If questions aren't there, then we can.
Yeah, sir. Yeah. VST, one more small question has come up, sir. VST 9 tractors or higher HP tractors? Is it? That's what the question is.
Series 9 is compact tractors.
Oh, it's a smaller HP.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all the questions, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
We thank the management for taking time out for the call. We thank all the participants.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.